Alina Vex woke with a gasp. Emergency lights pulsed, casting the hallway in a sickly yellow glow. Her ears rang with the dying echoes of the alarm. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. She scrambled from the makeshift bunk, her heart pounding against her ribs. Rushing to the bridge, she fought against the red emergency lights and the scattered debris that littered the corridor. Reaching the bridge, she saw the devastation. The main viewport, usually a breathtaking tapestry of stars, was now a spiderweb of cracks, illuminated by the terrifyingly close form of a shattered asteroid. The control panel flickered erratically, throwing distorted shadows across Captain Zhao's empty chair. Alina's blood ran cold. The rest of the crew, still in cryo-sleep, were oblivious to the disaster. "Ship status," she barked, her voice hoarse. The AI, its normally soothing voice now strained, responded. "Multiple hull breaches, life support compromised, power core offline." Alina's gaze darted to the oxygen level indicator. It blinked ominously, displaying a terrifying countdown. Hours, maybe less. Fear, cold and sharp, cut through her. She was alone, stranded with a ship full of sleeping souls depending on her, but Alina Vex was an engineer, the best the Erebos had to offer. Fear was a luxury she couldn't afford. This wasn't over. Not yet. There was still a chance, however slim. Her eyes fell on the blinking red light indicating the power core. It was a long shot, but their only shot. The Erebos was dying. The air, thick with the metallic tang of ozone, was growing colder by the minute. Alina pulled her thin thermal blanket tighter around her shoulders as she navigated the darkened corridors. Her only companions, the rhythmic beeping of her proximity sensor and the crunching of debris under her boots. The once pristine white walls were now scarred black from electrical fires. Loose wires sparked intermittently, spitting showers of sparks like dying stars. Each flicker reminded her of the dwindling oxygen supply. Time was a luxury she no longer possessed. Reaching the heavy steel hatch leading to the maintenance ducts, Alina paused. The access panel was dark, unresponsive. Power. She needed to reroute the auxiliary power to even open the damn thing. Frustration welled up, hot and immediate. Taking a deep breath, Alina pushed down the rising panic. Panic was useless, deadly even. She had to focus. There was a manual override somewhere in this mess of wires. She just had to find it. Her life, the lives of her crew, depended on it. The maintenance ducts were a cramped, labyrinthine nightmare, even under normal circumstances. Now, plunged in darkness, they were a claustrophobic's worst fear. Alina inched forward, her back scraping against pipes that ran cold as death. She relied on touch, on the feel of rough metal and smooth conduit, her eyes useless in the pitch black. The air here was stale, heavy. Alina could feel the pressure in her ears, the growing ache in her chest from the thinning atmosphere. But she pushed on, her headlamp cutting a thin, wavering beam through the darkness. Every clang of metal, every groan of the dying ship sent shivers down her spine. But there was another feeling too, a flicker of hope. A memory, vivid and strong, of her daughter's laughing face during their last video call. Maya with her bright eyes, and even brighter dreams of joining her mother among the stars one day. Alina clung to that image, her heart aching. For Maya, she whispered, her voice lost in the echoing silence. She wouldn't break, she couldn't, she had to get back to her daughter. That thought, more than anything, fueled her determination. The power core, finally. It loomed before her, a hulking metal giant, eerily still in the dim emergency lighting. The air here crackled with residual energy, making the hairs on Alina's arms stand on end. One wrong move here and she'd be fried crispier than a meteor entering the atmosphere. Hours. It felt like an eternity since the impact. Each breath she took was shallower than the last. But there on the control panel, a single indicator light pulsed weakly, a glimmer of hope in the desolate landscape of her fear. The backup generator. If she could just bypass the damaged primary system. Working with a speed born of desperation, Alina rerouted the power flow, her fingers nimble despite the trembling that racked her body. The smell of ozone intensified, stinging her nostrils, but she didn't stop. She couldn't, not now, not when they were so close. With a final surge of power, the core hummed back to life. A wave of relief, so profound it was almost painful, washed over Alina. She slumped against the console, her vision blurring for a moment, but she couldn't rest, not yet. The fight wasn't over. Rushing back to the bridge, she initiated the emergency restart sequence. It took an agonizingly long moment, but then, with a shudder and a groan, the lights flickered, then stabilized. The hum of the engine, music to her ears, filled the bridge. Alina allowed herself a small, weary smile. They were alive. They were going home.